It is now the 30th of April and we've come to the end of the month. I'm not sure if it has really dragged or if April has really flown by or if all the days have merged into one. But for me, certainly, March now seems such a long time ago. So how are you guys doing? I hope that you are safe and well and continuing to manage the days and work through as best you can. I've said all through this lockdown, and of course we're now into week 6, that there is no rule book on how we are supposed to deal with, work through, adapt to, manage this current situation, the new normal. And there's also no predefined way that we should be feeling. All of our emotions, all of our concerns and worries are valid, and they all deserve a voice. You know, we're all in uncharted territory now, and we are all reacting differently. We're managing the days in our own way and still learning what is best for us. But we still can learn from each other, and we can still support each other, and we should. This is partly why I wanted to film a little video each week, because the important thing is that we keep talking, keep in touch, not just with each other, but keep in touch with how we are feeling, and realise that there is no shame in struggling, no shame in feeling anxious or scared, and no shame in asking for help. If you've watched these videos in previous weeks, you may recall that certainly in the early days, I had to make a conscious effort to actively separate normal life from the situation we are now living in. Getting through the days, I think, especially initially, would have been virtually impossible for me if I'd have been consumed by the lament of what I was missing, where I couldn't go, who I couldn't see. So I chose to detach myself and become temporarily, solely immersed in the current. And temporarily is key, because we must all still believe that tomorrow will be brighter. You know, this too shall pass. If you suffer from anxiety or ever have done, you may have heard the term grounding, where you focus purely on the moment. Embrace what you smell right now. Become in tune with what you can hear in this second. You may touch something to anchor yourself. Focus on and listen to your breathing, and so forth. I had to find a new routine, and I'm sure you guys have had to do the same, and try to build a week around different things. This is not forgetting life before, but to try to not be enveloped totally in some form of mournful yearning. This week has been quite difficult for me, and in hindsight I've let some negative thoughts and some anxieties really snowball, and I'm finding it tricky to pull back and anchor myself. I'm not dealing with the loneliness as well as I probably have been up to this point, and my ongoing fear of being forgotten, being ignored, is heightened at the moment, and I've definitely realised that. But I've done exactly what I shouldn't have, and I've retreated. I've buttoned up and kept quiet. I suppose for not wanting to bother anybody, to disturb anybody. Again, that belief that nobody would want to hear from me is right here. Logical Nathan knows that this is all unfounded. But when that deafening silence only works to highlight or to breed those failings and one's shortcomings, it's very difficult to break that cycle. I had a bit of a moment a couple of days ago where I resigned myself to the fact that my 30th birthday would just pass by. It would be forgotten, ignored, that I would be ignored and forgotten, that I wouldn't see anyone, that I wouldn't get any cards. This probably sounds so insignificant and maybe a bit selfish, and it likely is, but it's what I'm feeling, and it's valid, and it upsets me. You know, I never thought that I'd reach 30. And I suppose building up to it, I just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to feel special for a day. Just wanted to feel loved for a day. So that got to me, probably still is getting to me, and I suppressed it, which of course isn't healthy. I push the emotions down because, you know, sometimes it's apparent that I'm not capable of doing it alone. And I'm sure that I'm not alone in feeling this, especially right now, when everything seems exaggerated, everything is heightened. You know, I miss so much, and I miss so many. But the thought of returning to normal life doesn't fill me with joy or excitement. But it should, and I desperately want it to. The thought of returning to normal life feels very scary at the moment. Coping with all that's involved in day-to-day living, coping with all that's involved in surviving is daunting. And I can't really imagine myself being back in that world right now. And I'm questioning whether I can be. That's quite scary. That's quite. Again, it's this deafening silence when you're trying to field and battle so many questions and worries. It's difficult to rationalise, and it's difficult to see through the fog and to stop and pause. So I suppose I want to say, as ever, that I hope that listening to this and hearing me talk, listening to me, my honesty, my candor, has been a comfort to some, maybe a form of reassurance that in struggling, you're not on your own. Again, by giving my concerns a voice, by talking, the thoughts are out there, they're tangible. I can try to unpick and deal with them. Maybe this will prompt you to talk to somebody, or check in with a friend. And I'll repeat what I said at the beginning. The important thing is that we do keep talking, that we keep connected. But to keep in touch with your emotions and how you are feeling, and realise that there is no shame in struggling, no shame in feeling scared, trepidatious, anxious, and absolutely no shame in asking for help.